meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day. If you missed the first hour of this program, it is worth becoming a member of Rush 24/7 and being able to go back and listen to it in perpetuity. I don't say that very often. I could say it every day if I wanted to, but I don't, because I am not a braggart. Great to have you here, folks. 800-282-2882. If you want to be on the program, the email address, lrushbo@eibnet.com. Here is a list that I have now of the major American corporations who are providing bonuses, some cases raises, as a result of the tax reform package. By the way, let me preface this. We had Paul Ryan here yesterday, and we've had, I think, 3 or 4 seminar callers the last 2 or 3 days who wanted to pepper me and try to trick me into falling for some question on the invalidity of this business because of the corporate tax rate. Somehow that made this thing invalid, and they were lying about how people were going to benefit because all the tax cuts were going to corporations. I asked Speaker Ryan about it yesterday, after, of course, knocking the answer out of the park myself to each of the callers. And Speaker Ryan said, we were losing them, Rush. I said, what do you mean? They're keeping more of their money offshore. Many of them are moving. Many of them planning to move. I mean, it wasn't a groundswell, but we weren't doing anything to help American-based corporations reinvest in America. It was a yeoman's effort to keep jobs here and all kinds. But if we were going to succeed in keeping jobs here, keeping manufacturing here, we were going to have to do something with the corporate tax rate. And so we did. It's all about improving America. It's all about improving life for America. Corporations, you may hate them. You have been convinced to hate them by the left, but they happen to employ people. They happen to provide health insurance. They happen to provide benefits. So here are the companies. AT&T was first out of the box. $1,000 bonus to over 200,000 employees. Boeing, $300 million employee-related investments. Fifth Third Bank. Does anybody know? I remember driving home one day, and I saw this little tiny building where a McDonald's used to be, and it was a Fifth Third Bank. I said, well, and this was maybe 10 years ago. So I privately wonder, what is Fifth Third Bank? Who would name anything Fifth Third? So there has to be a reason. I still don't know. All I know is they've gotten gigantic out there, and they have now offered their employees $1,000 bonuses and $15 minimum wage. Wells Fargo, another bank, $15 minimum wage, donations of $400 million. Comcast, $1,000 bonus to over 100,000 non-executive employees. Do you know who this includes? That's right. This includes people who work at NBC and MSNBC, who have spent the past number of weeks trying to destroy the tax cut bill, and now they are going to get a bonus from Comcast. Now, there's all kinds of there are people. This is unreal. There are people, including people on our side, folks, who are trying to cast aspersions on this by pointing out that it's the result of collusion, that this isn't real. This isn't really happening. It's just because Trump somehow colluded with these companies and did something to make them do this so that he would look good. And it reminded me, David Koch of New York, of the famous Koch brothers family, who donated $25 million to one of the big hospitals, one of the big cancer hospitals, and the nurses union there protested it and demanded the hospital not accept it because David Koch didn't mean it. He was only given that $25 million to mask the fact that he's a racist pig. And so we shouldn't let him get away with it. And so now you have leftists saying we shouldn't let these corporations get away with this. This is just a phony, slimy PR campaign to make themselves look good when we know they aren't good, when we know they're rot gut, when we know they're sleazy and slimy. And I'll tell you what, let them keep on. Let them continue. Look, I know they've persuaded a larger number of people than should have been about the evils of major American corporations and so forth. But I think there's no way that in the end they win on this. If they were going to win on this, they would have succeeded in this being defeated. Look at what happened here. Folks, look at the polling data on this tax bill. 26% of the people support it, and yet what happened? It passed. Republicans in the House and Senate stayed unified. There wasn't a single defect. Well, I don't know about the House. But in the Senate, there wasn't a single defection. They stayed unified. Look at the magic that happened here. Now all that can happen is those polling numbers improve because they're so low they really can't get any lower. And when you add to it that the tax bill has real life benefits to it, it's going to result in public opinion on the legislation growing. But even so, if they were going to be able to kill this would have been the time. They were totally aligned and unified in their opposition. Democrat Party, not a single vote for it. The drive-by media doing everything they could